Hi everyone. It's hard to imagine it has been a whole year since Jimmy arrived. So I thought this was a good time to do another video to talk about his progress and just see the changes that have taken place in this whole year since he moved in with us last September. So if you remember any of the videos I posted when he hadn't been here very long, Jimmy arrived as a dog who was scared of his own shadow. He was absolutely petrified of any people that he didn't know. You couldn't touch him, you couldn't look at him even. And every time I was obliged to touch him for something like putting his equipment on to go for a walk, he was really scared. So it was very hard to move forwards because I couldn't take away the things that worried him out of his daily life, not altogether. And we made slow but steady progress in the first few months. He needed a lot of time to settle in and decompress. And by and large, I left it to the other dogs in the house to teach him the ropes, because me trying to show him was not going to be helpful given how scared he was of people. So they helped him with understanding our routine, with understanding that you toileted in the garden, with understanding what happened at bedtime and so on. And that was a really big support to him as a dog that got on well with dogs but not with people. In Jimmy's favour, I have to consider that he was generally clean in the house. I wouldn't entirely say he's toilet trained, but he asked to go out. If you don't open the door at the right time, then he has an accident, but that is quite rare. And by and large, we manage with him using the garden rather than indoors for toileting. Yes, don't stiff that, AJ. He has slept through the night from the beginning, which is a big bonus in my book, having had dogs before who've really struggled with going through the night. And when he's not trying to run away from scary things, he's pretty easy to walk. He's easy to feed as long as I give him plenty of space. He found it difficult for me to be in the same room as him, so he generally eats outside. And by and large, his digestion is pretty good as well. So we haven't had too much in the way of upset tummies. And as he started to settle, we saw his real personality coming out. And I think this took us into probably the middle of the year, about halfway through the year before this began to happen. He started getting cheeky. We saw the little cheeky monkey inside beginning to peek out. And of course, if you've seen the videos of him and Gandalf playing, you'll know that he and Gandalf have got quite a strong bond and they became very much best friends. And that has been one of the best parts of this year of Jimmy being with us, him starting to play. I won't say learning to play, because I'm pretty sure he knew how to play. He just didn't feel brave enough to play in this new environment. But with Gandalf, then that was a whole different matter, and they've had a lot of fun playing in both the house and the garden. A slightly more negative aspect of him starting to settle was we began to see his prey drive surface. I think in the early days he didn't feel brave enough to do that, but he is very fond of squirrels or cats and gets very bouncy when he sees them. He's just adding a little bit of sound effect for you there as he's trying to get Gandalf to play with him, because he's not quite brave enough yet to be here in the video with me, which is why Mr. AJ's here. So we saw changes both positive and negative, and I think it's all part of that process of the dog getting used to being in a home and their true nature coming out. So as he has come into his home over the last few months since his last video, one big change is that in the mornings, instead of showing quite submissive behaviour when I come down, he's enthusiastic. He wants to greet me. If I sit on the sofa, he is trying to come towards me rather than moving away. He might have a bit of a stretch, he might play with his toys, but he's generally quite excited to see me in the morning now. And the process that we've been going through to encourage him to take treats instead of barking at people that he sees, that's been working well. We're now at the stage where if we see something he finds scary, a person on a walk, he will move away from them rather than closer. He will look to me for a treat when that person goes past. So that's a good change for him. He's also learned to sniff. In fact, he's very fond of sniffing. Walks have become slower because of his interest in sniffing, which is not something you're going to see when a dog is nervous. They're not brave enough to sniff. And now, instead of running away, he is happy to come to me, so he might come and lean on me if he's feeling nervous. And the other thing I've noticed is that around the house, he's very nosy. So if I go into the toilet, he comes to see what I'm doing. If I'm crouching down, maybe sweeping the floor, picking up pieces, he comes to see what I'm doing. If I'm in the garden and I sense there's a dog behind me wondering what I'm doing, it's usually Jimmy. So he has become quite my little shadow, but I feel he's become my shadow in a good way, not a bad way. We've still got things we're going to be working on as we go into our second year. I think with a dog like this that's very nervous, it's an ongoing progression, and he has made huge changes in leaps and bounds over this first year, but there is still a lot more change I will expect to see as we move further forwards. We're working on slowing down his taking of treats, because we went from too shy to take them to too enthusiastic about them. So we're working on that. And we're just trying to build his confidence in general. We haven't tackled car travel yet. We haven't had to go to the vet yet. That's coming up soon, as he has to go for his vaccinations. And we have not tried walking without the other dogs. Just recently we were in a position where were two of us walking the dogs, two each, and we separated for picking up some poop. And as soon as Jimmy realised that the others weren't right behind us, he immediately wanted to stop. He was not comfortable with the idea that the two groups had formed out of that one, and he was very keen to get back to the others, very happy to see them when they turned up. So we can see through these little ways that his confidence out and about is still not there. He needs the other dogs to help him. He needs the other dogs for support. And with a dog like him, being an additional dog in a home has been really, really important. So we'll be seeing where we go from now. I probably won't video Jimmy again in 3 months' time, but we will be back again, and I'm sure you'll see him in plenty of the videos with the others as well, even if he's not brave enough yet to come and join me in the shed. That's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed this update on Jimmy's progress. If you've had a nervous dog, then it gives you a little bit of insight into how they might progress. Or if you're thinking of getting a nervous dog, it gives you an idea of some of the things you might have to deal with. We'll be back again soon. That's all for today. Bye for now. Look out for new videos every Monday, and why not subscribe so you don't miss out?